All right. Looks like everything is working. We're back, folks. Welcome back. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Oh, what a what a crazy weekend. So much wrestling over so many days. And we'll be catching up on here, talking about it over the next few. Oh, sorry, I created the live link for this and then got called away. So my apologies for this just sitting here and anybody who sat here and waited for me to start this. Uh, I see Paul Nelson jumped in the chat. Good morning, Uncle. Have a fantastic day. You too, Paul. Much love. Much love, Paul. He's a good brother. So where do we start with this? We talked last video. We talked a little bit about the Eli Drake situation. It's going to be interesting how they go forward because, like I said in the last video, there's going to be storylines. There's a storyline with him and Eddie Edwards and this whole tag team thing. And the fact that they beat LAX and trying to earn a spot for the tag team championships. The main event was very interesting, and it's funny. I rewatched it earlier this afternoon before we're doing all this, and rewatching it and just watching Eli Drake, and it's just funny. But that happens sometimes. I mean, this is the wrestling business. You never know when circumstances are going to happen, and you gotta cut someone. What's interesting is there were no well wishes from Impact to Eli Drake. Just we terminated our relationship, and that's it. No wishing well on future endeavors. So I want to talk about something else, and I haven't seen anyone talk about it. I haven't seen it pop up in any news pages. I haven't seen anyone talk about it. I noticed something else significant that happened on this show, and I'm going to kind of bounce around here, and I apologize for that, but hey, that's sometimes we do that. Sometimes we just go right down the line, but sometimes we bounce around to talk about different topics. I'm going to be talking about what happened during the Rohit Raju match versus Falaba. Some very interesting commentary that Don Callis put forth during this match. And they were talking about Falaba trying to become a singles competitor. And they said, right as he was getting into the ring, he said that he lost about 280 some pounds of dead weight. Dead weight. Oh, snap. That's some shade on KM, folks. And so in watching this the other night, when did I watch this? Friday morning? I watched it Friday morning because I watched NXT the night before, and I was the two were going on at the same time, so I missed most of the live Impact show. Louise is in the chat. What is up, man? Good to see you here. So this morning I was like, okay, that's one thing that stuck out in my mind is that they called KM dead weight, and I was like, ooh, That's kind of nasty. And I've noticed Don Callis doing that before. He did it to someone else, and I don't remember who it was, but he said something about someone somewhere within the last couple months, and it stuck out for my. It was someone I believe that left the company. I can't remember, but so I went to the Impact Wrestling roster page, and I'm scrolling down and I'm scrolling down, and sure enough, KM is no longer listed on the current roster. So there you have it. They don't have KM anymore. Falaba is solo, and Eli Drake is also gone as well. Um, Interesting. And I gotta say, I did like the tag team of Cam and Falaba. I felt they really worked together. I kind of wish they gave both guys a chance to be taken a little more seriously. Like you could compare it in a little bit in a way to like how they treat the New Day. Fun, very charismatic. They got jokes for days when it's appropriate, but they are workhorses. And you know how successful the New Day is. I don't have to go on and on and on about that. By the way, congrats to Kofi. That's tremendous. I'll be talking about that much later tonight, probably after Raw, depending on how I'm feeling. Demon Rocks, what's up? They were great at W Live Super Show. Are you talking about KM and Falaba? Because that's one thing I missed. KM and Falaba, yeah. Well, and they were on the pre-show for United We Stand too, which is kind of weird. It was more of a WrestlePro thing, I think. It was for the WrestlePro Tag Team Championships. I believe that's what that was. I don't know. I caught like literally a couple seconds of it. I remember. Oh, I caught KM holding the belt, running past the camera, and yelling, "We're finally champs!" So good for them on that. But I wish they were given, like I said, given more of an opportunity to become a serious. Because you can be comedic and you can have fun, but you they just same with the Desi Hit Squad. But we'll see. We'll see. Rohit Raju did get the win over Falaba, and then Scarlett Bordeaux came out and distracted the two guys, and while Falaba recovered, and then gave him the big I don't know what you call that. Whole lot of ass in the corner. I don't know what you call it. That's what he called Willie Mack's move. So I don't think we should say that way about Scarlett Bordeaux, but more like a stink face. The two women's shows were great, Shimmer and Stardom. Yeah, I missed those two. I kind of wanted to catch them, but there was no way I could catch everything I wanted to. I watched a tremendous amount of wrestling. I wanted to watch more. I just couldn't. So most of Saturday I spent just chilling. Watched some movies with the missus, and then Sunday, prepped for the big Mania meal and watched Mania. Jackson Parker, what is up? I watched United We Stand live on Facebook. Hey, awesome. And that was a good show. That was a really good show. It was a lot of fun. Very interesting to see that RVD is now with the company. Not put out there for how long, but I'm gonna guess till summertime, just as a guess. We'll see. Um, message retracted. All right. Um, so yeah, let's talk about the rest of the show. Pretty good show. Um, some fun stuff going on here. That six-way X Division um six-way X Division match that started out the show was hot. Hot, hot, hot. Crazy hot. Um Petey Williams versus Trev versus Idris Abraham. Haven't seen him in a while. Um Jay Chris versus Aiden Prince. Haven't seen him in a while either. Versus Ace Austin. The action was just insane throughout this. Um, Petey Williams came out with a win, and I was a little surprised they didn't have one of the other younger guys come out with a win here. I mean, it's nice that Petey was in there, but he didn't need to. He didn't. I don't think he needed to win here, because he's not used that often. They use him up in Canada, locally up there. But if I would have had anybody win in the X division for this, I'd have Ace Austin win. Build his momentum. Because if he's gonna be like kind of a heel cocky guy going forward, him winning in a six-way would have been huge. But we'll see. It was still a lot of fun. Just, that's just how I would have done it. Petey Williams won with a super Canadian destroyer off the top rope. That was sick. That was absolutely crazy. 3 women at Impact should sign as Chris Statlander and Team Stars. Okay, I've heard of Chris. Is a high flyer. High flyer and a high flyer. That means she's like a super mega duper whopper high flyer. Or something. I'm not familiar with Team Stars though. I know most of the names that they've been using lately because they use them a lot on, they're either a powerhouse. Okay. That made more sense. High flyer and a powerhouse. Just messing with you. Thank you for the input on there. I had no clue what I was going to say. Anyways, we're back to this. Nice little LAX promo next on the program. And for Ortiz, it was bring your flask to work day. That's a pretty cool job if you can just, bring your flask to work and just, as you're dealing with stuff, just, take a little, little nip here and there. But that was pretty funny. Dude, he's just sitting there just drinking out of the flask, contemplating life and discussing stuff that they're going to do to the Lucha Brothers. Next, we had a Taya interview, and Madison Rain interrupts, and there's some comment about thought we lost you in the undead realm, and Madison Rain says, I've been somewhere much worse, and she's just throwing a little shade on Ring of Honor there. But it's funny, and I don't get this, but it's wrestling, so we're not supposed to get everything. Apparently, from what I read, she wanted ROH and Women of Honor to do. Oh, now I'm drawing a blank. What the hell was that? Oh, the Beautiful People. She wanted them to do the Beautiful People, and ROH was like, okay. So they brought in Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, and but she didn't want Mandy. I'm not real familiar with the Women of Honor. Mandy Lyon, I believe her name is. um, and so they brought them in, and then she left anyways. And I don't understand that. That's what she wanted, and then she left. So whatever. Like I've said, I'm not super mega excited about Madison Rain being back in um, Impact Wrestling, but it is what it is. She'll probably work Impact for the rest of the year and then maybe move on to bigger and better things. I don't know. Mandy Lyon, she sucks. Okay, I've never seen. I've seen her on commentary. I've never seen her in the ring before, but I've seen her face. Okay, so then Jordan Grace jumps in, and Taya says, "Well, why don't you two wrestle each other, and whoever wins can face me at Rebellion?" And so I was like, "Ooh, well, it's Madison's first match back. I did not expect her to lose. Honestly, I was surprised." Hey, Professor J. What is up? That's a little name the guys over at the Total Nonstop Impact uh, podcast gave me, which is very interesting. I will get into why, but I had that nickname in another lifetime back in grade school. Um, so the fact that now all of a sudden I'm getting called it again, here and there, it's kind of funny. So it's pronounced Lee. Oh, okay. Oh, not. Oh, Leon? Mandy Leon? Okay. Got it. All right. So yeah, Taya makes the match. And then we get a really good, a really solid tag team match between Sammy Callahan, and we get the in-ring debut of Madman Fulton. Um, Demon Rocks, you're just having all sorts of typing problems, aren't you? Poor guy. I get it. I get it. Sammy Callahan and Madman Fulton versus Rich Swann and Willie Mack. Uh, we get a clean shaven Rich Swann, which is interesting because we've seen him with this like shaggy beard for how long? That's just been kind of like getting bigger and bigger. And all of a sudden, he's got his sides of his head shaved, his braids all pulled back, and clean shaven, and looks completely different. We first saw this at was it United We Stand? That was United We Stand, and then this was the first night of the tapings, I believe it was for Windsor. But what did Trent say? Oh, said he looked like, or someone said he looked like Pope. I was like, yeah, he totally looks like Pope. Pope is pimping. So yeah, it was funny. But yeah, it almost seems like this is like a much more aggressive side of Rich Swann that we're seeing here with Willie Mack. Both going back and forth, kicking each other's ass. Oh, I wrote a note here. There was a kid. This was so damn funny. There was a kid in the front row by the entrance ramp. If you watch it back, you'll see him. Very loud. The cameras and the mics, whatever cameras, picked his yelling up a lot in the first part of the show. I think his parents told him to sit down for the second half of the show. You'll hear him screaming, OVE sucks, in a little kid voice. OVE sucks. OVE sucks. And then there was a point in the match where all the guys were by the front of at the bottom of the entrance ramp, and Willie Mack jumped to the outside, took them all out, all the OVE guys. And Callahan was leaning over the railing, and this little kid who was right there in front of him said, Sammy Callahan, suck my butt. This little boy told Sammy Callahan, suck my butt. Oh, I was laughing so hard. My stomach was hurting. Almost fell over in my damn chair. What a riot. This little kid. His parents were like, would you sit down and shut up? I love seeing little kids get all excited at wrestling shows because they just we get excited and we cheer and some guys go nuts, some hold back a little bit, some don't do anything, some just sit on their hands and just watch the show and don't do anything. But little kids are bouncing up and down, hanging over the railing. Yeah, suck my butt. Oh, it's too funny. Too funny. Poor Sammy. Can't get love from anyone. So, great match. Sammy and Fulton get the win. Take out Rich Swann and Willie Mack. And then as the end of the match happens and they're getting beat down, Tommy Dreamer runs down with a kendo stick and, kind of comes to the rescue. Scares the rest of the guys away, which was interesting because, Fulton was like all about he was going to eat Tommy alive. But Sammy was like, no, let's just let them be. And he grabs the big mop of hair and he's just, he drags Madman Fulton away. Kind of funny. Twice he had to do that. Then we have the Rascals Clubhouse segment, very funny, with Moose and his new woman, Vanessa, and then he calls her LaFonda or whatever. It's funny because she kind of looked like Melissa Santos, who's the backstage girl. And Moose is like, oh, this is why I love this clubhouse. Because I get to kick all your asses. And Trev had a big old shiner, had the shades on. That was just hilarious. And then I guess next week, Moose is supposed to wrestle Wentz. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe the Rascals will, actually send all the Rascals out instead of just one, and actually get a little revenge for Moose being a big bully and just destroying these guys. We'll see. But I think Moose in these segments is funny. I just can't wait till RVD gets in the tapings and they do these things with RVD. I mean, it's got to happen. and I'm sure RVD sees enough of it online. Um, it's got to happen. Hey, did you hear X? Uh, Emma may be coming to Impact. I heard she's a free agent. Um, we'll see. I imagine Impact or AEW. I can't imagine she'd go back to WWE. But hey, we'll see. Stranger things have happened. Eric says, I enjoyed the Moose and Rascal segment. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. It shows. I mean, Moose has been such a badass, but then he's got another side where he wears the crazy shit to the ring, and it's kind of weird and kind of comical. But his stuff he's been doing with the Rascals has been out of the park. I really like it. It shows a whole other side, and I just think the Moose is getting the Moose, the Moose. Moose is getting just better and better by the month as far as heel wise. It was the best thing the company could have done to him was turn him heel. Then we get a very interesting segment, the aftermath of the Undead Realm from last week. Rosemary in a cemetery visiting Allie's gravesite. It said Allie with a little bunny on it. It's cute. So, and she was like thinking out loud and saying how she wants revenge on what it looks like. She wants revenge on several people. She wants revenge on the father. Or she called Kevin Sullivan father. I felt that was very interesting that she called him that. Like a father of darkness, or is he actually supposed to really be her father in the Impact Undead Realm? I'm not sure, but I think we're still figuring that out. And I don't want to overthink it. It's just, just interesting trying to like decipher what's all happening, who's really the boss of who, and stuff like that. Looks like she also wants revenge on Kiera Hogan. That's kind of interesting because Kiera Hogan was trying to help her, but Rosemary was like, didn't really appreciate it. And of course, Rosemary wants revenge on Reverend Mitchell. Jean, what is up? Jay busy. Jay busy. You guys, all these little nicknames are just cracking me up. J to the A to the Y to the busy. Yo. Oh, I'm way too white. I can't do it with a straight face. Oh man. Oh, what's next here? Number one contendership knockouts match. Jordan Grace versus Madison Rain. Wow. A tiny bit of constructive criticism here. They've had some decent crowds lately. Sometimes the crowds aren't as loud as they could be. Like if you mic'd the crowds a little bit, like if you got a big ass crowd, throw some mics in there and like just amplify the crowds when they do pipe up and stuff. One thing I was been very critical in the past, and this goes back through probably a good chunk of Impact and TNA's history, where they put in crowd noise. They put audio crowd noise into the production, the live show. And it's sometimes if you're just watching and you're not really paying attention, you miss it. But I've actually, since I started noticing it, I could tell when it's not legit crowd noise, and it's like, especially with the boos, you can tell when there's like boos, and you can tell the audio, like there's peaks and low points. It's it's really upsetting. It's like I hate it when they do that. About the only constructive criticism I have for this, I just hate it when the company does that. Just let the crowd be the crowd the way it is. Don't put in the fake shit. I hate that. It's like they're trying too hard, you know. But I will say this: the crowd was like 100% behind Jordan Grace, and really sounded like they could have cared less about Madison Rain being there. And that's not me throwing shade on her. I'm not, like I said, I'm not super mega excited that she's back. She's not one of my favorites. Um, I'm hoping that she's back to just put over the younger talent, which it looks like after seeing this match, it looks like that's what they're doing with her. So I'm like, okay. Um, Josh was, of course, really putting Madison over. Um, and she had some decent offense in this game, a couple spots, few spots here and there. But Jordan really shined in this and put Madison away to become the number one contender in this match. And then Johnny and Taya, almost said Jaya and Tani. Johnny and Taya come down to the ring and attack Jordan. Cage comes in for the rescue. And apparently that is setting up a match for next week. We're going to have Cage and Jordan Grace versus Johnny Impact and Taya. Just, furthering the rivalry, which is fine. We get a promo then for Josh Alexander. I think this is the same promo. I don't know if they replayed it. But then Ethan Page was on his phone watching this promo, and then Josh Alexander enters the locker room, and they're talking back and forth about being a tag team, and proving to the rest of the locker room that they are the greatest tag team in the North. So, and I think that's what they're called. I think I saw the promo pic on Impact's social media on Twitter, is that Ethan Page and Josh Alexander are going to be called the North. So I'm very excited about that because, like I said, Ethan Page is one of my favorites on the roster. Very excited about him getting this time on Impact Wrestling to shine as a talent, and it just seemed like he was having great matches. Don't get me wrong. He was having great matches, but he was losing a lot. So he was just kind of cruising along, and they weren't really doing much with him. So I was hoping to God something was happening. But now, so it looks like they were just waiting for Josh Alexander to get everything set, dot his I's, cross his T's. And these guys will be a tag team going forward. So I'm very excited to see what they do with them. Can't wait. Because I've seen Josh Alexander stuff before. It's just been a while. And of course, I love Ethan Page. So them together should be quite the interesting tandem. The North. Can't wait. Talked about the Falaba Rohit Raju thing. Just very interesting. The like I said, the commentary of Don Callis calling KM 280 pounds of useless weight. And then, like I said this at the start, so I'll reiterate for those who came in, not too long ago. KM is no longer part of the roster, apparently. I looked up on the page, and he's in the alumni section. So Falaba is a singles guy going forward. Very interesting. Demon Rock says, hey, Emma will get a big pop if she signed with Impact. Yeah, she probably would. I mean, she's a hell of a talent. Now that she's healthy again, um, she could form an alliance with Madison Rain. I don't really want to see that. I'd rather see her go back to her old, not the bubble popping Emma, but the one where she was more heelish, with the shades, and it's all about, whatever, pointing at her, poke my eye out, pointing at herself, that whole heel gimmick. I liked it. John says, can't believe Eli Drake is gone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's he's gonna be missed, but like I said in my last video, Impact Wrestling is in a place where they got to keep things positive in the locker room. If relationships start going bad, just cut it, And I get it, you know. Yeah, obviously, we're not going to be privy to all the conversations that were held between upper management and Eli Drake as far as all the negativity on social media, and that didn't help. That didn't help. That sparked up so many conversations over the course of this past weekend. It was ridiculous, to the point that I actually, cut in one. I'm not going to name names because I'm not going to be a dick and call people out, but it's like, damn. It's like all this arguing between Impact fans. You are not helping the brand. You can agree to disagree. Like if I see someone with a different opinion, whatever, leave it alone. It's okay to start conversations and be like, okay, why do you feel this way? Because I feel like this. That's okay. But when you just bashing each other, it's such a waste of time. Be a better fan. Support the stuff you love and quit looking for reasons to bash other people and to get into arguments. There are so many, I'll say it, there's so many freaking snowflakes out there that are just looking for shit to bitch about. It's ridiculous. What the whole wrestling fan base has turned into over the last few years on social media is just horrible. It really is. I mean, if you catch a decent fan base, you get some good followers that you can converse with, and you got some similar things to talk about and stuff. Hey, great, but man, promote what you like on social media, but quit looking for shit to argue about. Is my point. It's just useless. Nobody wants to see this shit. It's crazy, Lee, what is up? And from the footy, I'm shattered. All right. Well, hope you become unshattered. Styles, what is up? There's a billion trolls that like to bash Impact. Yeah, and like my point is, Impact fans are a cult in their own. Some have been around for a long time and will defend it no matter what. Then there's fans like me who have been like consistently talking about it for the last couple of years. As the company has changed from TNA to Global Force Wrestling to Impact and ownership and all that stuff. So, it's a crazy time in wrestling, and the company's held its head above water and it continues to grow. So there's my little, and not really a rant, just saying be a better wrestling fan if you're going to be on social media. That's all I'm saying. Next we got one new face and an older face. Styles says rip IWC, right? The internet wrestling community is just dead. No, get a face that we haven't seen in like 10 years and a brand new one joining him. Cody Deaner is back in the company, Impact Wrestling. And his brother, who I had to do a little research on because he looked familiar, but I'm not super familiar with this guy. Um, in the show, he's called Jake Deaner, Cody Deaner's brother. They're called the Deaners. No rocket science about that. Keep it simple. They're the Deaners. Oh, excuse me. Coming soon, they just signed their contracts. Jake Deaner is Jake something. Now, I've seen some little clips about him on a few of the YouTube pages that I follow, like AAW and some other indie companies. So I've heard the name. I know he's catching some buzz because I see things about him, but I really don't know anything about him. So I'm learning, and I'm sure I'm going to learn even more with these guys. So I don't know if this is something's going to be specific for just these tapings or they're going to keep these guys on the roster going forward. I hope because we really need some fresh tag teams in the company. Like we got the North and we got these guys. So that's good to see, because we need probably a couple more tag teams would be nice to see to really jumpstart the tag division in this company because um, Lucha Brothers are not going to be around forever, unfortunately. And I'd like to see LAX stay, but I don't know how long they're under contract. And I know there's companies out there spending a lot of money on contracts. So we'll see. Don't want to assume, but great to see some fresh blood in the company. Uh, these guys, it's kind of like a little more comedic version of the Briscoes, I guess you could say. These guys are redneck to the bone, looks like. So, all right, we jump back in the chat here for a second. Scott and Don are doing a good job so far. I think they are. I mean, nothing's perfect, but I've seen some people kind of critical on how they're booking stuff, but overall, I mean, I think it's pretty good. People blasting Impact, don't they forget virtually no stars at the moment. Yeah, well, they're wasting all the ones they're getting from them too. Oh, speaking of WWE having people from Impact Wrestling, if you get a second, this was kind of interesting. They had a photo section from backstage stuff from WrestleMania. Um, and they had some of the pictures. I don't remember who's all in the pictures, but if you look at some of the pictures of the WWE stars, they're all black and white photos. Some of them, they're just chilling. They're kind of candid photos, either leaving the match or whatever, or pre WrestleMania, talking to production people backstage. Interesting photos. And there's a few familiar faces that we don't see too much anymore in some of those photos. One of them, I saw Abyss in the background. Another one, I saw, he's not Abyss anymore. You know what I mean? Um, the other one was Sanjay Dutt was talking to someone. I don't remember who. So just kind of interesting going through those pictures and, oh, hey, there's Sanjay Dutt, Still can't believe he's with WWE, but it is what it is. It's it's a dream job for some. So if that's what they want, that's what it is what it is. Did you ever see a brand called TCW? It was about ago and was really good. It was a shame it went under. No, I don't think so. What are the viewing figures for Impact at the moment? I have no idea. They're getting anywhere from like 5 to 15,000 people per Twitch showing, which is not a lot, but it is what it is. I have no idea what they're getting on the actual TV channel. I have no idea. AEW plans to do a rally in Chicago at the Sears Center in June. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard any news. I know they just released a video today. Following fight exclusive. Okay. All right. Back to this. So yeah, can't wait for the Deaners to show up. That looks like that's gonna be a lot of fun. Some, like I said, some fresh faces in Impact Wrestling. Always welcome. We'll see what. I mean, I was never a big fan of Cody Deaner when he was in the company before because he was going around with what's her face? ODB. They were together. They weren't together, but they were always hanging out. I guess they tagged sometimes in some intergender stuff, I think, once in a while. But hey, it's not saying the guy's not talented. He just wasn't my cup of tea at the time. So we'll see. We'll see. They do a nice Gail Kim retrospective. Very nice to see. 7-time champ, building the whole thing between her and Tessa. We get the main event, Eli Drake versus Eddie Edwards. Or excuse me, Eli Drake and Eddie Edwards versus LAX, Ortiz and Santana. Oof, apparently I didn't have enough coffee today. Johnny Bravo then throws out Conan. Very interesting because Eli Drake draws a punch from Conan. And, well, you can't have that as the match starts. So, crazy. Great match going back and forth, though. Lot of double teaming. Johnny Bravo had no control of this match at times. Crazy. Lucha Brothers then distract LAX, which causes Eli Drake and Eddie Edwards to win. So that's just one step closer to going for tag team championship match against the Lucha Brothers. And then they brawl at the end. Lucha Brothers put Santana. Is it Santana? Yeah, they put Santana through a table in the middle of the ring, going back and forth, getting some revenge. So yeah, this is all building up to Full Metal Mayhem at Rebellion in a few weeks. Can't wait to see that. Says Lee asks, can you see EC3 back? Do you think most would welcome him as consensus, phoning it in at the end? Say not a fan of intergender wrestling. Why let go? Yeah, I know that, and that was a lot of opinions shared across the board. This whole intergender wrestling thing. I know some are a fan of it, some don't like it because of the whole realistic sense. I enjoy some of the comedic stuff you see with Joey Ryan and stuff like that. I haven't gone out of my way to look for intergender stuff. I know it's bigger in the indies and some shows. Yeah, and then obviously there was obviously more feathers ruffled, and that couldn't have been the only thing why they let Eli Drake go. But that did bring a dose of negativity towards Impact this past week. And it was a very important week for Impact Wrestling too, with United We Stand and just the whole wrestling world of buzz. And you need to keep things positive. And Eli Drake was not helping the cause in, I get his, I'm not saying his opinion was wrong. Everyone can have their opinion, what they like and don't like as far as intergender wrestling. But then it got to the point where it was drawing negative attention, I believe, is what a lot of the problems were. can you see EC3 back? I would love to see EC3 back. Um, I've said this before. I think he has the potential to become a brand carrying guy, and WWE is just wasting him. He was my pick for the men's battle royal at Mania. I mean, I kind of jokingly picked him because I love EC3, but of course he got eliminated. And Braun won. Whatever. It is what it is. I'll be talking about that later tonight, much later tonight, as far as Mania stuff. But yeah, I would love to see, because EC3 is not going to be given a chance. At least it doesn't look like he is anytime in the near future. But stranger things have happened post Mania. Things get shook up. Maybe something will happen. I'm not going to hold my breath, but we'll see. I hope he's happy, and I hope they start using him productively. That's all we can hope for as fans. But if it doesn't happen and they let him go, someone's going to grab him. Impact will grab him, or AEW will grab him. He's too big of a talent to just be sitting in the back room holding a mirror and a spray bottle. Period. End of subject. The new ODB is Martina Session Moth. Oh, I've seen her before. She's crazy. She's a fun wrestler. I've seen her do some intergender stuff. I think she's going to get signed by someone relatively soon. We'll see what happens. I became a fan of hers when I was watching Flow Slam. I saw her do a lot of stuff in the UK. I don't know where she's from, but I know she's doing a lot of stuff all over the place lately. So we'll send you TCW episodes. Think you will like it. Let me know what you think. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, if they're on YouTube, just shoot me the link on Twitter or whatever. Just DM me. Shoot them that way, whatever. Or on Facebook. I haven't been on the Facebook page much lately. I just do 90% of my promoting on Twitter. WWE waste talent. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. They get Impact talent so that no one else can have them and bury them. Yeah. Eric Young, yeah, the whole Sanity crew. It's so damn sad. I mean, Madman Fulton has had more TV time over the last 6 months than Sanity has had on the main roster, period. And now I'm talking about like Madman Fulton between MLW and Impact Wrestling. Crazy. I'm not saying Madman Fulton is the best thing out there, but he's a talented big guy. And he's intimidating. He's got charisma. So I can't wait to see what else they do with him in Impact. I don't know, but WWE lost interest in Priscilla Kelly. Yeah, I have no idea. I heard that her husband, Darby Allin, is also a free agent. He's going to get snatched up by someone. I don't know who, but someone is going to pick him up. Who else is a free agent that I saw? Someone else I thought I saw. Maybe that was the one I was thinking of, Darby Allin. But anyways, someone's going to pick up that duo. United We Stand was a great show despite the audio issues. Yeah, they had some hiccups with the audio, but some of the guys, I think some of the camera guys lost a couple moves here and there, in the ring or outside the ring. But other than that, it was a great show. I mean, yeah, barring a little bit of audio stuff. I mean, some people like really lost their shit on the whole audio thing. Like said the whole show sucked because of the audio and the production was garbage. No, it wasn't. They had a few hiccups. That happens. You know. You know why they lost interest in her? If not, look up Priscilla Kelly versus Tuna. Oh, I heard about that. If you're talking about the whole tampon thing, yeah. Yeah, that could be. I mean, everyone's got their own opinion on about it. I never saw the whole thing, but I saw the clip. I heard about it. Anyway, so yeah, let's wrap this up for this Impact review for April 5th from this past week. Like I said, crazy week of wrestling. I'll be jumping on here later tonight if it works out after Raw, possibly. And if not tonight, I'll do it maybe tomorrow sometime. I've got a doctor's appointment in the afternoon sometime. But I got some other catching up to do. I got catching up to do on MLW. So over the next few days, we'll talk about Mania. We'll talk about MLW, catch up on that. And yeah, just it was wild and wacky. And I'm just going to kind of slowly catch up on stuff. My brain needs to like just chill for a while. It's like I was contemplating taking the whole week off, but we see how far that went. So it is what it is. Whatever. So much love, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of my content hits your screen. Take it easy, guys. Much love. See you, Styles. Take care. And we'll be back tonight or tomorrow. One of the two, either or. See ya.